Hey, it's Do-It-Yourself Bry here, and today we are going to install a backup camera on a 2000 F-350. The backup camera that we chose to put on this truck is a Boyo license plate backup camera. The benefits of this camera is its LED lights is one of them. It allows you to be able to see really well at night. I've installed a couple of these now, and when you're backing up at night, you can see really well with those LED lights there. It also has an adjustable camera, so depending on how far you want the camera to go out or down or whatever, you can adjust that up and down depending on the vehicle that you have and how you're going to install it. Some of the reasons why you may want to do that, like specifically with mine, when I'm backing up to a trailer, I've got just the tip of my ball right in view of that camera. So as I'm backing up, I can watch the tip of the ball literally go right underneath the receiver of the trailer. So I can basically back to virtually any trailer with one person real easy, back right up to it. That's one of my favorite things about the backup camera. The other is obviously the safety factor. It's a lot safer being able to back up your truck or car, knowing that you can see if there's anybody around. You can back up in a grocery store parking lot a lot better. As you're backing up, you can see how close you're getting to that car behind you to be able to get you out of that parking lot. Some of the things, the benefits of this particular backup camera. The frame is made out of a pretty nice material. It's a real kind of heavy material that it's not flimsy, won't rust. It's an aluminum, and a nice finish that doesn't appear to rust or scratch or anything like that. It also has basically bolts that go down in it, where you're going to put a nut on the other side. This makes it really hard to steal. You could steal this, obviously, but you can't just quickly walk over with a basic tool and remove it. It would take some time and probably a couple special tools that the average guy walking around is not going to be able to just rip it off real easy. It's also color, so you're going to see everything in color, and gives you a real good solid clean view. A couple things that we're going to go over with this is how much it costs roughly, so you can get an idea of what this project would cost you to do it yourself, and then also an estimated time so you can figure out how long this project might take you. You can pick these up on the internet from different places. With the materials that you're going to use, you're probably going to spend just under $200 for this. The materials that you're going to want to pick up that are kind of a necessity is definitely a package of wire ties. You don't need a whole lot of wire, but some 18 gauge, preferably 18 gauge primary wire. Doesn't really matter the color. You may want to pick up a couple different colors. Also, definitely a roll of electrical tape, and there's a few connectors that you're going to need to make this happen. You may want to get the standard butt connectors, or what we're going to do in this particular project is we're going to install what's called a T-tap, and you may not be familiar with this, but basically with a T-tap, this clamps around the wire. Like if you have this 18 gauge wire, it goes on there, and you take your pliers and you crimp this right here, and this allows you to get a really good connection to that wire without cutting it or splicing into it, so to speak, or putting a butt connector or something like that. Then once you've tapped that onto the wire that you need, you're going to use one of these. This is a male end, and it just basically fits right into that T-tap, and your wire comes off like this. So this is going to be really easy for you to do the wiring on this particular project. The tools that you're going to need, definitely you're going to want a drill bit set, just something basic. What I like to use a lot of is these are unibits. They're a step bit. Allows you to drill through something really easily and get the desired depth or width of the hole that you're looking for. Obviously a drill, a crimp tool. This is a wire cut slash crimp tool. This is going to allow you to be able to get a good crimp on your connector there. That's a solid crimp tool with a nice indent there, something really good so the connection doesn't come undone on you. There's many different wire strippers available. I use this wire stripper. It's quick, easy, strips the wire real fast. It's what I prefer to use. Some basic tools, screwdrivers, socket sets, pliers to be able to crimp this down, a set of pliers, and something that every do-it-yourselfer should always have in his pocket at all times is what I carry, a flashlight. This fits really nicely in my pocket at all times. Whenever I need a little light on the subject, I can whip that out. I also keep a razor knife with a clip that sticks in my pocket. Allows me to be able to cut a piece of electrical tape or something that makes it. So once you've got all your tools that you need, you've got the supplies you need, you've got your backup camera, you're going to need a couple hours of time to get this project done. The connections of this particular project are fairly simple. There's a couple technical things about it that it's fairly simple. With my steps, you should be able to get through this pretty easily. This is my basic, really cool wiring diagram on this white sheet of paper that you can't see very well. But I'm going to hopefully just go through this real quickly and give you a basic overview.
Alright, so you can see my license plate here. The camera is in the top. And out of the corner of the license plate frame is the cable that runs up to the front of the vehicle. So basically, once you get this cable up to the front of the vehicle, it has some wires that come out of it. And those wires are essentially a switched power. This allows the camera to turn on and off with your ignition, your ground connection, and then the reverse slash backup signal input. This is a positive input that will send a signal to your backup camera to turn on when you actually put it in reverse as you're backing up. That's a crucial component. Essentially what you're doing there is you're hooking up to the backup lights of your vehicle. This here is your video input to your screen. So depending on what screen you're going to use, you could use a universal screen that mounts somewhere in the vehicle. You could also use the rear view mirror screen, or in this case we're going to install a doubled in radio in this F-350 that allows you to basically run your backup camera right through the radio.
Okay, so we're going to install the backup camera on this F-350. It goes in place of the factory license plate. So first you want to remove the factory license plate, then get the backup camera out of the box. It's going to come with some bolts and washers and things that make the job nice to install. Then you're going to want to get ready to drill the hole in the bumper. Start with a smaller drill bit, then moving to a larger drill bit, so you can put the cable that goes from this backup camera through that hole. And with a larger hole and a little bit of duct seal around the hole so it doesn't damage the cable, push the cable through the hole and then attach the backup camera to the bumper using the bolts. Go ahead and attach it and run that cable through. The cable is going to be in two pieces here, so you want to connect the two pieces together with electrical tape. They push together tightly, but this electrical tape is going to keep moisture out of the connection and keep it from accidentally coming apart. Then run the cable along the frame rail. Go ahead and wire tie it neatly up to an existing harness about every foot or so. Route it all the way to the engine compartment and then drill a hole in the firewall. Be real careful not to drill into anything. Go ahead and drill in a safe spot. Then get a rubber grommet. Get that grommet in the hole that you drilled, and then go ahead and put the wire through that hole. Then you're going to want to remove the fuse panel that's underneath the driver's steering wheel. Behind that fuse panel is the fuse box. Behind the fuse box is where we're going to hook up our battery or backup camera connection to the reverse lights, so that the backup camera comes on when the reverse lights are on. Remove the fuse panel. Find the black and pink wire. In the bottom right hand corner there is a connector. Using a test light, go ahead and hook it to ground. Probe the black and pink wire. And when the black and pink wire lights up, the test light, only in reverse, not in park, not in neutral, not in drive, you've located the right wire. Some of the wires, there's more than one black and pink wire, so make sure you verify that you got the right one. Once you've located the correct connector and you've located the black and pink wire, go ahead and grab a red T-tap and a set of pliers. Put the T-tap on the wire and get ready to clamp the T-tap down using a standard set of pliers. Once you've done that, grab some 18 gauge wire long enough to reach the radio. Put the male end on the end of the 18 gauge wire and go ahead and insert that into the T-tap. Once you've got that inserted, you can go ahead and put the fuse panel back in, run the wire up to the radio. Here you'll need to remove the radio using radio removal tools that are specifically for Ford vehicles only. Then remove the antenna and pull it out of the way. Also remove the power harness that goes to the back of the radio. You can remove it by clicking the little tab down on the top and then sliding the connector from the radio. Once you've got the radio disconnected, go ahead and move it to the side. Then get your wires and run them through the radio hole there. So underneath the steering wheel, you're going to take your wire, your camera cable, and that 18 gauge wire and run it up to the radio. Pull them up next to the power cable. Where the radio power cable is, take a wire tie and wire tie that to the power cable. Then make your switched power and ground connections on your radio wiring harness. Locate the correct switch wire and ground wire, T-tap those wires, and plug them in like so. And you're done.
Well, so the project went really well. We were really happy with the installation of this product. It works perfect. Does exactly what we want it to do. It's got a nice look. It's going to last a long time. Does what we want it to do. Do-It-Yourself Bry channel is here to give you real tips on how to install this stuff so you can do it yourself and have an idea of the tools you're going to need, the cost it's going to take, roughly how long that's going to take to get this project done. So if you'd like to see more do-it-yourself tips and you want to help me build my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.